So welcome, this is the first of the tutorials on ABCs of R. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to upload your data into R and do some very basic statistics. So means and making a box plot or making a scatter plot, your very first visualizations. So at this point I will assume that you have downloaded R for Statistics to your computer, and you've run it and installed that program, and that you've also installed TinR on your computer. So you've got both of those up and running. I'm also going to assume that you have downloaded the script for the introductory R, and that you have the CSV file, and I recommend that you save those as files on a folder that's on your desktop and call it something like data analysis folders. It'll be easy to remember that way. So here you can see those files have been saved inside. Okay, so you open TinR. This is what it looks like. On your right hand side you've got your R terminal. You'll see it's green over there. So what we want to do now is open our script. So go to File, Open. You're going to go into here, you want your script, and you open it up. Very nice and easy. So what you'll notice about the script is that it's annotated. I put a hashtag and then I can write whatever I want to afterwards, and R will not see that. It makes it invisible to R, but it's really helpful for you to add your notes and comments, because you will forget what you're doing and you'll open up a script later and go, what on earth was this for? This is a great way to keep good notes. So the first thing you want to do to bring your data into R is make sure that your file is saved as a .csv file in columns, that your column names have no spaces in them and are simple enough for you to be able to remember and type out later. You'll also want to figure out where your working directory is, so where R is going to pull your CSV file from. I have my CSV files in a data analysis folder on my desktop. So I'm actually going to set my working directory, and basically all I have to do is go make sure that R has started, so it's nice and green, that means it started. Put my cursor here to highlight that line, and then I should be able to press my little button to RSet. Now if you notice here, the line is grayed out, so that means that it's not actually ready to work. So I want to start my R terminal. At this point, when I look at my highlighted yellow line and I take my cursor up to the R send, it works. Okay, so it's a brighter green line and it's not grayed out anymore. So it set the working directory to that. So now what I do is, within my working directory, I just have to say read the CSV. So when I say read CSV, it directs R to look into that data analysis folder for a CSV that's called Birdwing. Now I don't have one called Birdwing, I only have one called Wing. So I'm going to make sure that the name of the file that I want is what's written here. So now I send that line into R. So far nothing much has happened. So let's see if it knows what the column names are for my data set. And I'll send that in. It says I've got two columns, one is called male and one's called female. So if I want to double check that the data is in correctly, I'll just type in the name of the file and send that line in, and that should give me that full data set. It says I have 10 pieces of data in each of these columns, and the columns are male and female. To get a brief statistical summary of the data set, you can just write summary of Wing, and it'll summarize for each column the minimum, quartiles, median, mean, etc. So that data is returned immediately for you. You might be interested in looking at histograms of the data. So you write histogram, Wing is the file name, you put a dollar signal, and that dollar sign indicates the column name. So it's basically, make me a histogram of the file called Wing of the column female. Send that in, and up pops your histogram. Let's make this a little bit smaller. There we go. And so it tells you the frequency, it tells you that it's file name wing, column female, and here's the name. Now, that's not very nice. You might want to actually have a better looking file than that, so we can actually make it look better, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Let's say you're interested in looking at the males, not the females. All you have to do is change that column name from female to male and then resend it in, and now you should have the histogram of males instead of females. Now, if you were interested in having a different number of bins or categories and having color, this is how you would change that histogram. So you say histogram of wing. Now we need to make sure that we've got the right column name. Let's say we're doing the males, and we want 8 bins, and we want the column to be colored in green. So I highlight that and send that file in, and here we go. We've got a histogram of males, and the columns are in green. If you don't like green but you prefer red, you just change the name to red and send that file, and now you have your histogram in red. So it's fairly user-friendly on some of these things. Let's say, for instance, you are interested in plotting a scatter plot, so basically an XY plot. I have some data. It's the human population against time, so I'm going to read that CSV file. Now, once again, I need to make sure that the name of my CSV file actually matches the file in my folder, and it's called population CSV, so I'm going to read that in. If I want to actually have a quick preview of the data, make sure that R has got it properly, I press just the name of the file, and here comes the data in my R terminal. So now I want to plot it. The way in which this goes is, he says plot your X coordinates and your Y coordinates. So it says plot from file called population. The X coordinate is going to be the column year. From the file population, the Y coordinate is going to be the column which is called population. So I'm going to enter that in, and here's our data plotted. So it's population year versus population. So you'd be able to tell fairly quickly if you've got your X and your Y coordinates switched, because your graph would look a bit funny. Now, let's say you want to go a little bit further and you actually want to put this data into a publication, or just make it look smarter. You might want to actually add nice labels to it. A title, X label, Y label. So this is how you do it. You say plot from file population, my X coordinate is going to be year. From file population, my Y coordinate is going to be the column population. My main label is going to be called global human population. My X-axis label is going to be year. My Y-axis label is going to be human population in millions. And you send that to the system, and voila, here's global human population, here's year, here's your human population in millions. Let's say you want to change the title's color. It's very easy to do. You add one extra step to it. You say add the color of the main label to be red, and you send that in, and now global human population is in red. So there are some more advanced ways to plot your graphics, and I've put a link to a good website on there. So please feel free to share and modify this script, because R is free and we like to keep sharing with it. Thanks, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial.